Let's go. Welcome in, everybody. We got Miss Williams. Glad to see you here today. Lindsay Lynn's in the house. Awesome to see you as well. El Cheeto, my man, in the house. I think that's everybody. Blues Guy dropped a comment much earlier. I'm sure he'll be here when he gets off of work. All right, mic check is complete. I appreciate all of you a ton. I think tonight will be a good show. We're going to be going over SocialFi. Lindsay, did you get a chance to catch the show on Tau? For some reason, I thought you would really appreciate that show. Sourced and sold. And sold high, yeah. Sourced and sold is my other channel that I'm not very active on, honestly. I'm going to revamp that, but I really wanted to get this crypto channel under wraps before I did that. So that is my wife in the chat, actually. Says not yet, but it's on my to-do list. That's awesome. I hope you get a chance to watch it. If not, don't feel like I'm pushing you to do that or anything. Trade Intuition in the house. Thanks for stopping by. And we are off to a great start here. I see it started over, so we can go ahead and launch. And what's up, everybody? Welcome to the Underground Crypto Show, where we deep dive crypto. Tonight we're going to be going over SocialFi. Everybody keeps asking about Zora, right? So why don't we just talk about all of them? Or do you guys only want to hear about Zora? That is my question to you. See what's going on in this chat. Like button smash. Hey, everybody, follow Trade Intuition's example and smash that like button. Subscribe if you haven't already. And yeah, let's kick this thing off. Co-AI has got to be the coin with all of the volume, because it is just up and down and up and down. I really want to pull up a chart for Co-AI. We're going to do that at some point. Somebody remind me of that. Drop a 333 in the chat if you feel like this show genuinely raises your crypto IQ, or just put IQ raised, just so anybody else who comes in here can see how you guys feel about it, right? Trade Intuition, I really enjoy you coming and supporting the channel. Big shout out to you. I was the second person to smash the like button. Who beat me to the punch? I don't know. Blues Guy dropped a comment way earlier today on the stream, so maybe it was him. Trader says I was like number 5. Exactly. And so aside from Co-AI being up 57.9% on the daily, it seems like every day Co-AI is rather down, you know, significantly, like 50-60%, and then the next day it's up. It seems like the perfect, you know, trade. I've said that several times, and I really felt like I should do that, and I still haven't traded this thing. So we'll see. Everybody mark your calendars and see if tomorrow Co-AI is down about what it's up today. Trade Intuition says, I don't like the 333s. If you know, you know. I get what you're putting down. I do. Stacy in the house says, newbie here. Well, we appreciate you being here. I love to see some new names in the chat. I made sure that the Discord link in the description was updated before we went live. So if you want to join the Discord and be a part of the community, you could certainly do that. But maybe you want to see what's going on here first before you make that decision. We always start off with the crypto bubbles. Biggest thing of the day is Co-AI. Then we hop down to the hour. Most of the stuff was red on the day, but on the hour looks like we're getting a little bit of a green pop, and the only thing red is Co-AI. It seems like when everything's green, it's red, and when everything's red, it's green. Here's the weekly. Really nothing exciting on the weekly, man. Everything is pretty beat up. So we'll move right along to our quick rundown of the numbers of the market. Bitcoin, well, let's refresh it. Just refresh it. Make sure we have up to the moment numbers here. Everybody welcoming in Stacy. That is awfully kind of you guys. So Bitcoin, $107,566. I mean, if everybody here is, been to the Lifers channel, we're all pretty up to date on what Bitcoin is doing all the time, especially if you're in his Discord. You get constant update. So that's where that is. It is what it is. What can we really say about that? Ethereum hanging out 3,800 under the $4,000 level I talk about every day. It's not some critical level that I marked out on a chart. It's more of a psychological level that I like to see it above. And those psychological levels are real as well. So BNB, $1,074, hanging out above 1,000, I think is pretty solid for BNB. XRP, $2.36. It seems like a slow bleed for XRP. Solana, $180. And it kind of feels like the same thing as 3,800 for Ethereum, right? It's like the same idea, right? You're just hanging out right under that key level of $200 for Solana. Tron, 32 cents. Dogecoin, 18.9, so call it 19 cents. Cardano, 62 cents. Is that thing ever going to break $1? Well, not in this environment, right? Let me raise my table a little bit. I feel like I have to bend over to talk to the microphone. All right, and then what else do we got? Chainlink, $17.21. XLM sitting at 30 cents. Hyperliquid, $36.26. SWE, $2.38. SWE just getting beat up. I don't like it. Avalanche, $19.02 if you want to be real specific. HBAR at 16 cents. And what happened in the chat while I was gone, Cryptomaniac came in and he says, "Hi, how's everyone doing?" Oh, he didn't say that. That's just me making up stuff. He says, "How's everybody doing?" I think everybody's doing great now that you're here, for sure. We were all waiting for you, Cryptomaniac. Such a loyal member of the community. Gotta shout you out. And then let's roll into what is trending. Is everybody becoming more numb to the Bitcoin price action yet? I know that I am. Gotta grab my hot green tea. As many of you know, I'm fasting, as the lifer is as well. Just worked out perfectly, really. And yeah, today is day 3. How long will I go? I have no idea. Lindsay Lynn says, honestly, yes. Got you. Fart Knocker in the house. Yo. Yeah, you become pretty numb to the price action when you've been holding crypto for a long time. It goes up, it goes down, right? Oh God, BTC got my wheels turning. Yeah, it's been all over the place today. Been hard to get a read on. Luckily, after like the initial big crash, I had a couple trades, but after that, I just quit trading. It's just not the right environment, in my opinion. Lifer is a pros pro, so of course he is constantly pulling money out of the market. If you're in his private Discord, you would know that he is continuously making decent amount of money, that we would all consider to be a more than decent amount of money on a daily basis, no matter what the market is doing, and that is why he is the GOAT. So big shout out to him for always keeping us sane when it comes to price action. Garden Warrior in the house. Man, all of our favorite people coming out and saying hi. I love that. So EVA. What is EVA? It's up 224% in the last 7 days, but 70% of that is 24 hours, right? It just sucks when you think about it. You got a good entry and then you realize you might be near the top. Yeah. I'm not sure if you mean on a long-term hold or a, trade, but either way, that happens. The most wrecked, this is something I realized, almost every time I've ever gotten really wrecked trading, it's been at an all-time high. So just keep that in mind. When you're in an all-time euphoric area and you see and this is not financial advice, in my personal opinion, you see like the 15-minute lose the 200, not a good sign. Self-made people are awesome. Hey, I could not agree more. I don't know how I could ever work for somebody again in my life now that I've been working for myself and running businesses for several years now. Couldn't do it. I worked in kitchens for a long time, guys, so I know what it's like to work for other people. I didn't have nobody hand me a bunch of money to get started or anything like that. Nothing wrong with chilling and just watching the charts. I do very few trades. Yeah, El Cheeto, and honestly, it's harder. It's a lot harder sometimes to just chill and hang out than it is to, actually stay out of the market. It's so much easier to just constantly throw yourself at it and hope for a Hail Mary. It's not coming. I feel like that comes with quite a few years of trading to just level out and say, I'm just going to wait for the environment to be better. Will it ever be better? We don't know. This time I bought extra fear, but now the alt season may be canceled for the 254th time exactly, and nobody promised us an altcoin season. That was just kind of all of us patting each other on the back. So we'll see what happens, right? 54.9 million for this EVA protocol. It is financed, so most of you guys will probably not find it very exciting. It is BNB Smart Chain. It is Toncoin ecosystem, aka the Telegram app. I think most people understand that. We've done whole shows dedicated to the Telegram or Ton ecosystem, really. And it's lending and borrowing. And Amico Brands portfolio. Binance Alpha Spotlight. I will show the website just briefly, as I want you guys to be pretty familiar with, every crypto, and I think that the website is a good way to memorize each. At least it is for me. When I think of a project, I can usually picture at least the landing page, the initial for the website, and that helps me keep them. It helps me keep them categorized, I guess. Anyways, I digress. This is the Ton ecosystem, right? The Ton ecosystem actually has a bit of trouble with having enough wallets and stuff like that. I think they'd pretty much solved it at this point, but liquidity has been a problem in the past for the Ton ecosystem. Lindsay Lynn says, underground crypto, I worked in many kitchens, restaurants, loved it. It made me a better person. Oh yeah, you definitely learn a lot of skills working in kitchens, and I have worked at all kinds of restaurants, from breakfast places to barbecue places, and most places I worked, I stayed for, at least a year or more. I never left a restaurant job and went to another one and didn't make more money. So usually that was the reason for leaving. Although once you work in a restaurant for a year and a half, you realize that you don't like anything about the management. I never worked at a restaurant that was well managed. I've worked at restaurants that were better managed than other restaurants, but never restaurants that were well managed. And I know they're out there, right? So this is Turtle. Let's talk about it. Turtle is trending. Let me back up. It hasn't been out very long, as you can see. 33.3 million in the market cap. So Trade Intuition would not want to buy this coin because they have 33. Oh, now it says 0.4. Okay, now you're safe. Well, I don't know. 33 is still there, so maybe we still can't buy it. Let's see. And it's all jokes, man. I'm just playing around. Turtle. I don't want anybody getting offended. 17 cents. What is it though? Turtle XYZ. It has an Ethereum smart contract, BNB smart contract, and Lena smart contract as well. It says DeFi, analytics, yield farming, and a Binance Alpha Spotlight tag. Let's go check out the website. Sounds cool. Who knows? One thing I do want to talk about in just a minute is Lab, and how somebody commented on my reel and pointed out that there is 90 something % of the wallets are owned by the top 8 people. So I went to Crypto Bubbles version 2, volume 2, not version 2, or maybe it's version, I don't know. Went to Crypto Bubbles V2, I believe it's .com, and I looked them up, right? And yeah, sure enough, almost all of the liquidity or supply is owned by the top wallets. So he was not lying. Confirmed. And I did post that in the Discord. So anybody in the Discord got that alpha a little bit early. So if you stay there long enough, you become the manager, and then you see why it's badly managed. Exactly, Fart Knocker. He knows. You must have worked in a kitchen or something like that. Hit the like if you're watching and consuming knowledge. Absolutely. The owner's a bum most of the time. Yeah, that's not a good sign for Lab. Nope, not at all. And I really just want everybody to know, and I want to just say it again before we talk about Turtle. If you see me put out a reel or I make a video researching a crypto coin, you're watching this live stream and we're researching a crypto coin, none of it is ever some secret signal to buy. First of all, I'm never going to tell you what to do with your money. And second of all, You know, we go over everything, so I don't know. Would it be a signal to buy everything if they were signals? Exactly. Doesn't make a lot of sense. Let's see. El Cheeto says that's wild, and Trade Intuition says just posted the main hangout. In the main hangout, it would be on Discord. Avant with video on my thought process. Free to join Discord today. Link in the description of this video. Well done. Well done. I appreciate you saying that. So, liquidity distribution protocol. Unlock boosted rewards across Web3. Institutional liquidity, deal flow, and diligence, right? What is deal flow? That's an interesting term there. I mean, I could infer aligning incentives, right? So it starts off with the website, everything's kind of like jumbled up, and as you scroll down, it all lines up, right? Well done. Aligning incentives across Web3. And as we continue to go down, promote your incentive programs by directly targeting the largest active LP liquidity pool network in Web3. Right? So partner protocols, liquidity partners. So this is about liquidity. Turn your Web3 audience into a revenue stream for your business. So they're talking about monetizing your audience, I guess. Structure ecosystem-wide rewards that drive DeFi activity and foster sustainable TVL, total value locked growth. Very, very interesting. Join the club, sign a message, discover the deal, earn rewards, all of that fun stuff. Liquidity at the most expensive resources, right? From diligence to deployment. Let's see, all kinds of different stuff going on. Here's KDO again. KDO is the blockchain that's for Darkstar that we always look at. And then they actually have a Web3 app. So that was just their website. I want to go to their Web3 app. You can tell a lot about a project, not just by their website. Websites are easier to throw together, right? But by the actual Web3 part of their website. And Ayo, or he just says, hey, brother, that one guy. So excited for that one guy that he won a free membership in the 99 yesterday. Everybody tell him congratulations if you would. And yeah, now he's been on fire and he's been here consistently. To me, that's a sign of somebody who's moving forward and who's going to get it, who's going to win. You can't win if you give up, right? If you give up and you never come back to the table, well, you can't eat, right? If you don't come to the table, you can't eat. And so sometimes you eat a bad meal and you get sick and you spend a couple of days with not much of an appetite. I understand that greatly. I've taken, for what, it's just different for everybody, but for me, some not so great losses. But I had to come back to the table and eat at some point because I don't know how to give up. That's true. It says, I can't wait to get in. Oh, are you still not in? Did they even email you back or anything? I could, if it goes on another day or so, let me know. I'll reach out to him. Yep, El Cheeto says, congrats, dude. Soak it up. So excited. What a great community we have. Anyways, this is Turtle, and this is their Web3 part of their website. So access the best opportunities across DeFi. And yes, when we come across a new project, we are going to spend a little bit of time on it. If you're here for the whole SocialFi narrative, that usually happens after we get a lot of this other stuff out of the way. Access the best opportunities across DeFi. So that is a bold claim, honestly, because there are all kinds of opportunities. Turtle and Avalanche USD talking about 16%, get 8% out of each, and that will equal 16%. I'm not sure. Is that mathing out right? If I have 50% in one and 50% in another, is it an actual liquidity pool? I'm just looking at it, and you can certainly take their word for it. But in a liquidity pool, you're 50-50. But usually the pool has an APR itself, right? Very interesting. So are you like double staking it? I don't know. I could be wrong. This is not making a lot of sense to me just at first glance. I haven't dug into it. But if you got 8% on half of your and 8% on the other half, you would still only have 8%, right? I don't know. Maybe I'm just bad at math. Anyways, moving on. So under earn, you have campaigns here. You can view the campaigns. It's all about providing liquidity, aka what most people I think would call staking, right? All kinds of stuff going on in the chat. Says, are we going to pump back up tonight or what? Come on, people. Let's do the pump dance. Yeah, everybody's going to do the Bitcoin rain dance, right? Outside around the campfire. There's a leaderboard. So there's obviously airdrops and stuff going on here. Turtle checker. You can check your eligibility. So I see a lot of the same old stuff. Doesn't make it bad, it just makes it the same old stuff. They have a swap, they have a DAO, they have staking, they have rewards, they have, you know, their own token. There you go. We'll go to the FAQ and see if there's any questions that we would actually want to know. How does it work? Oh wow, they even gave us a whole little video. Turtle connects LP liquidity providers with the best incentive programs across all assets on chain. Our structure simplifies the due diligence process since we do not use smart contracts. So they're not using smart contracts. That's a big takeaway, right? Not using smart contracts. So what are they using? And I see this this topic really come up a lot lately, of the whole cross-chain staking and like using a platform that's not just built on one chain, but actually kind of is constantly updating and rerouting your stake to make sure it's constantly getting the highest percentage. I've seen a couple projects like that. Makes a lot of sense. Garden Warrior says, I do the rain dance pump all the time. I bet he does in the garden because he wants Bitcoin to pump, but he also wants it to rain on his garden as well. So it's like a double win for him. An hour before, life is so crazy. I've been locked in while watching for a long time. I just fell apart or something with Underground and the lifers. Yeah, it happens, man. I'm just so glad that you came back. Some people never come back, and you know, those people a lot of times aren't winning. At least they're not winning in this arena, right? They could go to a different arena and win, but if they don't come back here, they can't win in crypto. That's not true, but you get what I'm saying. They have to go somewhere and do something. What is in my tea? Oh, it's just like a piece of fuzz from the tea bag. All right. Very concerning. I do not like random objects in my tea. I don't think anybody does. Blues guy in the house. He is joining us. Says he just popped in. He is in deep rehearsal tonight. Okay. Much love. Hope you have an amazing stream. Yeah, absolutely. Our favorite Canadian. Well said, Lindsay. Well said. Did we have another person from Canada? I thought we did for like a second, but who knows? I do like to see some different coins trending than normal. Gives us a little bit more to talk about here. Let's talk about Limitless. And these are just trending, right? These are not necessarily top gainers, top losers, right? This is just what's trending. So Limitless, 32 cents. Oh, you know what? I forgot to do something, and I don't want to skip it because I know that I would like to know, how long has Turtle been out for? October 22, 2025. Okay, that's what I thought. I noticed it did not have anything for the 7-day, but I didn't know if it had been out more than 1 day. So it looks like that just launched today. So keep that in mind. Let's see. Is this going to tell us the same thing? This also just launched today, and this is Limitless at 111.8 million in market cap. Base blockchain, Limitless exchange. It is GambleFi. So let's definitely check that out. Price prediction market. Okay, so it's another one of these price prediction markets. I have seen several of these lately, right? We have seen several of these different projects that are all about, you know, betting. I think one was called Dark Bet, which doesn't sound good, to be honest with you. And there was another one. I can't remember what it was. I don't think it was one of the ones that I wrote down. What is my table doing? It's just lowering itself on its own. So here you are. This is where you're going to place some bets, right? All trend markets. And you can place bets like HBAR above 16 cents on October 23rd, right? XRP above $2.40. Basically, it looks like you're betting a lot on, is it going to go up or is it going to go down? Very interesting. It does have like a traditional login. connect a wallet. Okay, so you can. So this is like a cross between Web 2 and Web 3, right? Does everybody kind of understand that? If you just log in with like an email and a password, it's very Web 2. If you can log in with a wallet, it's very Web 3. A lot of times it's one or the other, right? Let's go to feeds. When it's kind of both, it's like a cross, right? They're kind of getting the best of both worlds. So that one guy says, "Hey bro, I have a topic request." All right, let's hear it. Dap dump, good idea. I missed stuff in the chat for sure. I shorted BTC during my first stream at 108.763 cooking. Yeah, he did say that it was most likely gonna dump. Yeah, I don't know what Farcaster said as far as undelay, zundelay, something. Oh, it's gonna go for higher highs. Here we are. Meme coins with IP rights. Okay. That is very interesting. I will write that down and see what I find there. I mean, you have like a story. It's not a meme coin, obviously, but it's all about IP rights. We've seen different projects that are all about IP rights, right? I don't know if it's meme coins. Yeah, I got you that one guy for sure. All right. So then they have these different feeds. I don't know if these are different accounts and what they're doing, right? So is this like shadow trading or copy trading? Sorry, not shadow trading. You can claim some tokens if I guess you had something to do. Something called the profit challenge. This is the leaderboard. Obviously, these are people who predicted well. If you're into betting and gambling in crypto, I guess this makes a lot of sense. This is not something I get excited about. I'd rather spin a slot than have to figure out if XRP is going to be above $2.40 tomorrow. But I guess if you love doing TA, then you would be interested in doing that, right? See how much followers they have on Twitter. So they have 86.9 thousand followers on Twitter, right? Predict crypto and stock prices. Yeah, we went over that part. Pin post was 11 hours ago and has 869,000 impressions. That is pretty good. I don't know if other people were pumping that as well. They had some influencers or something, but that is a lot. The engagement looks pretty good on this thing. Now, is it because it's new? I don't know. But all this engagement is probably also why it is trending right now. So Quacks. Does this have to do with Quack AI? That website looks like Quack AI. Something we have been looking at because it had been trending recently as well. Let's see what these notifications are. Oh man, I hate when they do that. These random people. We will block that person because they are not legitimate. All right. On we go. Let's go look at the next trending coin. So CoAI, I just want to pull CoAI up for a second because I feel like on the 3-month chart, it's got to be up, down, up, down, up, down, right? Maybe more like the month chart would be that way. Or the 7-day maybe. I don't know. I just feel like this thing did so much up and down, but the chart doesn't look like I imagined it would. It's very interesting. I feel like every other day this thing is up 60%, down 60%, up 60%, down 60%. And then many other things from the bigger pump before that. So the next one here that's interesting to talk about would be CREP. It would be here. I'll pull it up. That one guy wants to know the Twitter. Oh, he says, never mind. He found it. All right, good. You got it. I appreciate you following me over there for short. So CREP. CREP is $51.3 million in market cap. Let's go to the max chart. Max chart says May 29th, 2025. And I mean, this thing really did nothing for a while. Who would have thought? You know, if you were looking at the price action before August 10th, I think you would probably feel like this was never going to do anything, right? You'd feel like this was a dead project. All right. And that's pretty much everything worth talking about here. Let's move on to crypto rank. And let's look at what's trending over there. And the fear and greed index is at 27, but still in fear, right? It's not back to the middle ground just yet, when the market certainly doesn't feel like it should be in the middle ground. Hey, I appreciate that. That one guy reposted the live. That is definitely a big help. Anybody who can do stuff like that, I appreciate you. And we've been over so much of this. RVV, that is a gaming. INSO, that is for building applications, making it easier for people who are not developers. Recall, I don't remember what Recall is. Has 75.5 million. Oh yeah, this was about testing and verifying and evolving AI agents. I remember this coin for sure. We go over a lot of coins. Yeah, tokenized markets for AI. Yep. So it's kind of like markets for AI type products, you know, if that makes sense to you, like different ones. I mean, it sounds a lot like what Fetch was supposed to do. I don't know if Fetch ever actually really even built a market. That I don't know. Then, of course, we have Lab. We talked about it. Of course, it's up 92% in the last 7 days. Yep, Bankroll is following me. I just got the notification. It's a little slow, right? Whitebridge, seriously, I peril here, or should I hang on? I feel like doubling down on Whitebridge. I mean, I'll get twice as much for the same amount. That is certainly up to you. I don't know what I would do in that situation. That is very much dependent on you know, what kind of capital you deployed in the beginning, what kind of capital you have left to deploy, all that type of stuff. It's still at 5 million, which is where it was when we looked at it the other day. It looks like it finally bounced at this 0.022 cents there. Does look kind of roundish. Don't know. All I know is the fact of my own ignorance. They do say rounded bottoms pay the bills. Now, why did I just exit out of crypto rank? I have no idea. But I do that a lot. I'm always closing tabs, and sometimes I'll just instinctively just close the tab. It says I'm $100. I'm down 67, but yesterday was closer to 50. Blues Guy says, I'll catch y'all later. Beautiful people, cheers. Stay underground, stay crypto. Exactly. I see that saying really stuck there. And we're glad to have you for while we could. And I hope you have a great rehearsal. At least it went back up a bit. Exactly. It's kind of how I feel about Anoma. Definitely thought we'd get more out of Anoma than that, right? And who knows? It's not over yet. That's how crypto goes. I can't tell you how many things I've bought and I've held for really long periods of time, and almost honestly at some point they almost all pumped, unless it was just like a really crappy meme coin, right? Zero Base was a new project yesterday, the way that Turtle was a new project today, and it's all about ZK, right? It's all about zero knowledge. And you're gonna see, I see this narrative in so many coins because it's a way of verifying transactions, and that means that it can be implemented in many different projects, really. Yeah, Fart Knocker, exactly. Diversification is a good idea. Let's go check out the website here. So the cryptographic trust layer for global finance, proving the world. We never clicked this. Oh, that wasn't what I wanted to click. So this is how you stake it, right? But that's not actually what I wanted to click on. I want to click on this that says the playground. That sounds fun. I'm sure all of you remember the playground from back in the day. Why is there a wheelchair? Start exploring. You got to click the little wheelchair. That's kind of hilarious. The cryptographic trust layer for global finance, proving the world. And it says enter. I thought we already did that. Okay. Yo, I'm not gonna lie, this looks very interesting. What? So J for jump, wheel for in and out, reset the wheelchair, M for mute, space for breaks, and shift. Okay. Everybody got that? And use your to move around. How am I supposed to do that with the same hand if I'm using these? Oh, snap. You really can do this. Okay. Yo, this is lit. I have no idea whose idea this was, but proving the what? Shouldn't I be able to go up that? I thought it was a ramp. Y'all seen that? This is wild. This might be the best website I've ever seen in crypto, hands down. I mean, it had an interactive thing with it. Oh, we have to like drive over this and open it and then hit enter. Bro, I'm so lost. And then it takes you back to the website. What kind of crazy sorcery is this? So that was it? Bro, they could have at least put like a ramp or something, right? How far off the board are they going to let me go here? Oh, they even have like a little ball, but there's nobody to play against. I mean, I don't know what's worse here. The fact that I'm in a motorized wheelchair on the playground, or that there are no other kids on the playground. What's more sad? Bro, I am not good at driving this thing at all. Oh, dude, I'll never score a goal. You saw that? The soccer ball went so far away. This is lit, though, low key. Now, if we could all get on this and play, they might be onto something here. This is so ridiculous. Is there anything else that you can even do in here? I'm sorry, guys. I'm childing out right now because I didn't expect this. Oh, snap. We can knock over walls and stuff? What? Sorry, I am not looking at the chat right now. I'm just trying to test the limits of all I can do here. Join Guinness World Record Challenge and earn rewards. We can earn rewards on the playground in our motorized scooter. Oh, you can't reach this. Guinness World Record. I'm so lost. Oh, and it just keeps going. What is this? Mirror? Can I drive into that? I can drive into it. That is awesome. Stephen Hawking. Exactly. I don't know what's going on anymore. We'll have to move on from this, but this is low-key kind of fun. All right. I really have to be done with this, don't I? All right. Wow. I just time traveled back to 1994. The graphics. Wow. Exactly. This is how they made all those Stephen Hawking AI videos lately. Hey, maybe. The head tilt. Yeah, they nailed it, right? Okay, that made me interested. And you know, one thing, it might be kind of silly, but I will remember that website, right? Like I will remember this website, and I will always remember Zero Base for that. So they did a good job, in my opinion. I'm always complaining about websites. So what can I say? They did a good job. Trillions of dollars in financial transactions require trust, yet current audit solutions are inefficient and fragmented. It feels weird going back to like normal reading of the website after that. Real-time zero-knowledge proof generation. This is all about verifying. This is all about zero ZK roll-ups, right? Drop a 111 in the comments if you have no idea how a ZK roll-up works. I'm writing it down because that's a good idea for a crypto IQ raising event. I need like a soundboard, have like a cool, you know, shishing when I say something like that. Maybe a drum roll. Wait, drum rolls are for jokes, so I'm not joking. I really want everyone to raise their crypto IQ. Moving on. Okay, that's quite a few people. I'm like, where's everybody going? I just noticed that like the amount of people here keeps going down. Where are you guys going? Or it could be YouTube. Sometimes YouTube just does weird stuff. So let's talk about Fleek. Bless is a supercomputer built by borrowing everybody's GPUs and, capability, resources, as they would call it. And yeah, we don't need to talk about it because we've talked about it so many times. But yeah, we'll probably do a ZK rollup. I know I've already done a ZK rollup stream, but that was before all of you guys were here. That was when I was alone on an island by myself, screaming for the boats passing by to come on over. So let's talk about Fleek, FLK. We have talked about it before. Fleek Network is a decentralized edge platform. And what does that mean? What does that even mean? So actually, I want to go back and see if do they tell us what an edge platform is. An edge platform optimized to facilitate the deployment of and running of performant web services, right? Serverless function. Fleek Network globally distributed and autonomously controlled network of edge nodes allows developers to frictionlessly create and utilize a multitude of edge services. All right, we're going to stop there. It's kind of like feels like when you write an essay for school and it's got to be so many words, so you just keep throwing words at it. None of those words really seemed like they needed to be there. Says I always give a -1 for websites that have a white background and a +1 for black. Yeah. Says funny when I'm streaming, I rate websites and info on websites. Yeah, exactly. And what can we say? I love when they do black backgrounds though, and instead of doing like nice bright white letters, they use like very gray small letters. That's fun. And then they just have like a ton of empty space. Makes sense. So your crusty selfie becomes Insta-worthy, and the hipster alien you created just went viral. Welcome to the new era of vibe influencing, where everyone is the main character. So this is very much like a social media. Create, influence, earn. Is it the next Zora? I don't know. I don't actually know how like it sets up. Like we've talked a lot about Zora and the way that every post is a coin, basically. Like its own coin is created, and you get a bunch of the supply, and then people buy into the post, and it seems really weird, to be honest with you, but it could work, and they hope that model will replace the ad revenue model, right? Small gray letters on a black background. Exactly, Trade Intuition. Absolutely genius. So what is Fleek? So Fleek is a fantasy social app. Sounds like you're treading water there. Where anyone can create, remix, monetize content with AI. You can post, grow your audience, launch your own token, and earn real money from fans. How can I make money? That is the next question. Yes, you earn from tips, token trading, brand campaigns, premium features, and even remixes of your content. Okay, so if somebody remixes your content, you get some of that. That's kind of smart. And I definitely see this era of kind of, I don't know, what's the right word there? I don't know what the word I'm looking for is, but the era of you could make some money with some emerging platforms, right? A lot of people with TikTok and TikTok Shop made a crap ton of money, but that was just because they were already on the platform. Like they were already using it. They were already posting. Zora, we talked about some many different ways that you could maybe get on Zora and make some money, because it's just so small and there's not a lot of people on there. And there are, I don't know, people on there that want to make money by buying and selling the different posts and stuff. It's an opportunity. It's, I guess, arbitrage in a way. And so maybe that one comes out. It's another one. There was another one, Jelly. They can't all win, right? What just happened? That was so weird. All right, please never do that again. Trade Intuition question: why would people buy a post? I saw another crypto like that. I just don't get it. Well, they would buy a post because they believe it's going to do well, right? It's almost more of a form of investing. There's a couple ideas, right? So there's the idea of ownership. So say, you were the type of person who was like super obsessed with some celebrity or something, right? And then they get on something like that. Imagine that feature was built into like Twitter, right? People like, it doesn't make a lot of sense when you talk about it for Zora, but if you were to apply the same idea to Twitter, people would be going ham over owning Elon Musk's most recent tweet, right? Because they know if they get it right when it comes out and they're quick on the draw, that thing is going to skyrocket. So I think there's maybe a few really diehard people, maybe a few people who are diehard enough that they just genuinely want to own it. I think for a lot of people though, it's just another thing to trade. I mean, you can bet on all kinds of things, you can gamble on all kinds of things, and it's just a new form of gambling. Now you can bet and gamble on, a social media. Now, I've seen several of the SocialFi ones, and we're going to be talking a lot about SocialFi today, so I'm glad this came up. I've seen the ones where it's like, I think MemeX has one, and there were some other ones that kind of failed that had the same idea where instead of every post being like a currency, every profile was a currency, and I think that might be a better idea. But I don't know. I haven't really weighed it out. I mean, MemeX, which I talk about a lot, which I use, is like that. So MemeX, the profile itself is a coin, right? Got to stay off of the home. Never know it's going to pop up there. But like, you can go to chart and you can see the chart of my profile, my account's coin versus MemeCore, right? So the real price action that you're seeing here in the chart has nothing really to do with my coin, but it has everything to do with what the main coin MemeCore is doing, right? So MemeCore fell a bunch because I don't have enough attention here at people buying in and out for mine to really move around, right? But anyways, it is weird to have a chart for your profile. And let's see, if you scroll down, it kind of tells you your percentage, your holder. I'm in the matrix rank, which I'm sure is a very low rank. And it is kind of the wild, wild west, right? So if you're on MemeCore, definitely follow me. They definitely have a campaign where they are giving away money, right? If you can rank, they're giving away money to the top 500 people. The top 30 will take home 10 grand, and it goes down after that. Let's see what's going on in here. Buying a post is dumb. Donating to creators, I get, but buying a post, I mean, when you buy a post, you pretty much are donating to creators because they own most of the supply for the post. Now, they did it so where you don't get a ton of the supply of the post, and then more of the supply of the post unlocks to you over time. So I don't know, there's a lot of different ways to play. I don't think the idea is horrible. I just think that it has not evolved and really been adopted and figured out all the different angles to make it whether really good or really bad, right? And yeah, I mean, buying a post is dumb unless like you buy the post and you make a bunch of money. Is it still stupid at that point? I don't know. So we've talked about tons of these. Monad, Cajun, we talked about several times. Ye Finance is a newer one. I will bring it up for just a second. And I'll try to go over it quickly as we've been over it several times. It is financing multi-chain DeFi as it should be, right? So this whole across-chain DeFi, basically making everything interoperable. Everybody seems to be, everybody who's very financial, a lot of them seem to be focused very much on interoperability and being connected with other platforms, which is super useful if you actually use DeFi. How many people claim to be crypto, but they don't actually use DeFi? They don't DeFi anything. And so at that point, are they really crypto people, or do they just buy an asset and hold it? Blue Whale was another one. This is Blue AI. Talked about this yesterday. At least its chart looks like all the other charts flipped upside down, right? So this one actually looks a lot better. It pumped up, held, came back down, but it held most of it versus pumping up initially and then giving back like, 90-80% of it and then kind of playing around like this. So you could almost put that puppy in a flag if you don't count this little breakout here. It has a nice measured move. 27 million in market cap. This is Blue AI, but other than the fact that it has AI in the name, what the heck is it? NFTs were hot when they were not. I missed something. I don't see the value in buying a post either. Yeah. I mean, the value is you making money. It's just like anything else. Like, the same thing you guys are saying, like, I don't see the value in buying a post is the same way most people don't see value in buying a meme coin because meme coins are not valuable. They have no value. Now, if the meme coin decides to build something, it puts them in kind of a weird territory because yes, they're a meme coin, which is great for branding, right? Marketing. But once they build something, they've really transcended the meme coin space. Look at Shiba Inu. Shiba Inu's built a lot of stuff. Now, is it good stuff? I don't know, but it could provide value where if they didn't build anything, they're definitely not providing any value, right? Your profile, your assets. This is Blue Whale. Power world's fastest growing AI network with your identity. So is this like DID? What are the categories here? Developer tools, data service, Binance Alpha, artificial intelligence. They had through a launch pad. Blockchains, BNB, and Sui. I like to see the Sui ecosystem kind of brought in there, right? That makes me feel like the Sui ecosystem could start to heat up. I think it's like the second or third more recent projects that I've seen built on Sui. Scroll down, discover and be discovered on chain. So AI servicing your wallets based on your profile. So this really, although they haven't outright said it here, it really feels like that DID, digital ID kind of a vibe here, right? AI machine wallet similar to your audience. Now, I don't know. The thing with the AI integrated into your wallet seems like definitely a security risk. But could it maybe enable AI bots and just things like that to move in and out of your portfolio? You certainly wouldn't put your whole portfolio in there, but if you took a couple $100 and threw it and then had an AI bot built into your wallet and it could, buy and sell and move in and out and stuff, that could be interesting. So your own data, exchange it for value. So this is another project talking about, how people... There's a lot of projects I've seen from this to many other things where data that you have, belongs to you, and therefore you should get paid for everything that they're making off of your data, right? Sui was supposed to be the soul killer, they said. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know about Sui being the soul killer. It was touted as much faster than Sol, and then Sol eventually, more recently, had a big upgrade. So now I don't really know who's faster than who, right? Which one's fastest? We should do that. I'm going to write that down for one of the streams. Like, what is the fastest blockchain? Because that actually sounds like fun. Because a lot of the websites we go to, every single one of them says they're the fastest, right? But did they update their website with what is like the most recent fastest? I don't know. Meteor, that is a decentralized exchange for Solana. Let's look at Tempo. Shout out to anybody coming in here. Like that button. Hit that like button. Subscribe. All of that fun stuff that just about anybody would say. See a few people scrolling through here. So Tempo is a EVM compatible layer 1 blockchain designed for payment processing. We've been over, I don't think they've had a token generation event yet, right? So they haven't done any token generation, but it does say that they raised $500 million. So this is not small. Let's see, who do we got? We got SV Angel, Sequoia Capital, Thrive Capital, and this Green Oaks Capital. And of course, Ribbit Capital, might as well not leave them out. So it says they've raised $500 million. That's not very small. But at the same time, they are all about payments, right? They're the blockchain designed for payments. So if you're going to deal with payments, you kind of need to have a good chunk of liquidity in order to do that. Why create a new blockchain, right? Stablecoins enable instant, borderless, programmable transactions, but current blockchain infrastructure isn't designed for them. Existing systems are either fully general or trading focused. Tempo is a blockchain designed and built for real-world payments. So this allows you to zoom in and out and kind of change the website. They actually changed it. This used to be split for only half of the website, and now I see that it's the whole website. It does look much better, so that is a nice upgrade. Optimized for real-world flows. Check chat there. Okay, chat's good. Optimized for real-world flows. Tempo was started by Stripe and Paradigm. I'm familiar with Stripe, not so much Paradigm. With design input from Anthropic, Copag, hopefully I'm saying that right, Deutsche Bank, DoorDash. What? DoorDash is in here. That's cool. Oh, and Deutsche Bank is a big bank. Lead Bank, Mercury, Nubank, OpenAI. Wow, this got Shopify. Okay, this has some... If this is true, their partners are big hitters, right? If you're a company with a large real-world economic flow, I want to say economic or economy is what I wanted to say. Anyways, you don't care about that. Flow. What would like to help shape the future of Tempo? Get in touch. So you can partner with them if you have big business. Very interesting. And that is Tempo. So they are the blockchain for payments. I butchered that last paragraph. I know. So let's go down to momentum. Here's another trending. That one guy says, got my lady and my best friend watching with me now. Well, shout out to that one guy's lady and best friend. Welcome in. Please hit that subscribe and like button. It helps greatly. And I appreciate you having them come in. Hopefully they enjoy crypto as much as you do, right? The momentum is a SWI based. Okay, so this is actually the other SWI project that I was talking about that I had not really deep dive into very much, right? Momentum. So, financial operating system for the tokenized future. Let's go ahead. We could read all of this, right? But let's just launch the actual app and get right to the Web3 version of this thing. El Cheeto is drinking tea in the chat. So they have a swap, and then notice a lot of this stuff is the same as the other one that we were talking about, right? Or that we checked out, their Web3 version. A lot of this stuff is the same. It doesn't make it not valuable, but it does get a little repetitive, right? So you got liquidity, you have a swap, right? So you can provide liquidity, you have a swap, you have a bridge. But what is XSWI? That I would like to know. XSWI, I guess, is the swap. Okay, that makes sense. Like X for like decentralized exchange kind of thing. Very interesting. And then they have vaults as well. This is standard financial stuff, right? I do like to see it on SWI. They are tiny market cap, right? Oh, man. 4 million raised, and they haven't even had like a token generation event yet. And this is a rebrand from MSafe to Momentum Finance. And we tried to find some information about MSafe the other day. Couldn't find any. And since they haven't even launched this token and stuff, I think they rebranded before they ever really had launched the other project. Anyways, let's check them out on Twitter. I understand the risk. Go. It's coffee, but same different. Yeah, exactly. Coffee does sound nice. Had that shot of espresso, just straight espresso, just coffee beans and water. Need a little bit of energy before the stream, even if I'm fasting, right? So 308,000 followers. I've been impressed lately by the amount of followers that I've been seeing on pages. I don't know what that's about. Didn't usually see that many followers off the rip with such brand new projects. Says they've been around since 2022 as far as being on Twitter. Sometimes they'll reuse a Twitter account that's been around, so that doesn't always mean it's accurate. They have 3,000 posts. It's pretty decent. October 15th is the pinned post that has 1.3 million impressions. That is something right there. So the long-awaited title deed NFT enters the next phase. So title deed NFTs. Okay. If that's what I think it is, I mean, I've seen quite a few projects kind of talk about that kind of thing, but I haven't actually really seen anybody do it yet. All right, let's get to what is Momentum. Momentum is a DeFi protocol built on Sui blockchain that supports concentrated liquidity market making, or a CLMM. It provides developer documentation, smart contract nodes, and SDK tools to integrate or build on its CLMM infrastructure. Its pools allows liquidity providers to concentrate their liquidity in price ranges, improving capital efficiency. The protocol includes features for admin controls and operations, such as governance and maintenance functions. Examples and getting started guides are provided to help developers deploy and interact with liquidity pools. There are also audits documented to help users assess security of smart contracts. So what's the takeaway from this? Well, it's a lot about liquidity, for sure. And they have tools for developers to interact with those liquidity pools and things, right? And then they have audits, documents to help users assess security of smart contracts. I assume they mean their smart contracts on their platform, right? So I guess really all you're waiting for here is a token generation event, right? But it's very small. They've only raised $4.5 million. So this is one of those ones that could go either way. A lot of times when it's this small, it feels like there's little risk, right? Because what are the people involved going to just take $4 million? I mean, it's a chunk of change to a regular person, but the type of money that you could rug pull out of a project, it goes way higher if you just wait, right? So I don't know. I see it going up potentially, but that is not financial advice. Where'd everybody go? Mega ETH. Mega ETH we also talked about yesterday. And I think this is probably the last thing we're going to go over before we get into SocialFi, right? So they've raised $87.6 million. No token generation event. That's just code for there is no token yet. Mega ETH is a layer 2 blockchain, enhancing Ethereum's scalability with high speed, low latency transactions. So it's a layer 2 built on ETH. Every time I say, do we really need another layer 2? But the more niched out these layer 2s are, the more that they're actually useful and the more they don't really compete and butt heads with other layer 2 projects. The website was very interesting. I don't know what the artwork take is on. I'm sure maybe somebody who's very into art would get it. The first real-time blockchain. So the big takeaway here is this narrative of real time, right? Not worried about finality. So 1,000 plus transactions per second, throughput per second. 10 plus gigas per second. Subnet, 10 millisecond block times. And it's all settled on Ethereum. I mean, if this works, if this works the way that they say it works, I mean, this is a big deal, right? This is pretty cool stuff. So it really gives you this demonstration here where traditional blockchains, the information's coming into it, right? And that information is being batched up into blocks. But you see, the block is only being issued every once in a while. And when that block is issued up every once in a while, all these small little transactions are then updated into the ledger of said blockchain. Well, this is taking a different approach, basically just batching them up into much smaller batches and putting them through as like a bunch of little tiny blocks. But see how this is, you get one and then you wait, and then you get one and you wait. This one is just constant flow of information of blocks. So if that makes maybe a little bit more sense to why this is considered like a real-time blockchain. I like that a lot of this looks like album covers. Why won't it let me scroll down? Okay, there is no scrolling down. There's just scrolling sideways. But what are they? I see dates. Maybe we got to zoom out. Okay, there we go. So this got to be like their roadmap or something, right? Because it says Mega ETH introduces USDM, right? Which would be their stablecoin. Mega ETH introduces native oracles. Okay, so this is like their roadmap, and they did it with like what looks like album covers, old album covers, which is kind of cool actually. I like the vibe. I don't know what the creepy bunny and everything is, but I guess that's going to be their mascot, right? Because bunny, you see a lot of bunny. And this literally looks like, what is that, Journey or something like that? I don't know. My old records memorabilia is not very good, or memory, right? Mega Mafia. So Mega Mafia is a collective of early stage founders building net new apps that showcase the power of crypto without constraint. The group co-lives and co-builds alongside Mega ETH core team and advisors all over the world, ranging from isolated offsites to industry-wide gatherings. And then this part was really weird. I don't know. This just took you to random places. If you click on those, that part was weird. But anyways, the big takeaway is it's a real-time blockchain. And again, if they do what they say they're going to do, it's pretty monumental. Could really change the game for Ethereum. 87.6 million in that market cap. No TGE. No token generation event. Says if you're here, please hit the like button for Underground. It's the right thing to do, friends. I appreciate you saying that. How many likes do we have? I mean, it's pretty relevant. You got 15 likes and 17 people here. So almost everybody has hit the like button. I don't know if you guys can see how many people are, said, oh, of course you can. Just like Lifer's channel tells you. So it's a good time to drop that when you see an influx of people. And there is one more coin I really wanted to look at, this Zen chain, right? No market data available at all. Zen chain is a layer 1 solution designed to enhance cross-chain interoperability, particularly between Bitcoin and Ethereum, which is definitely needed, right? Everybody could understand why we would need more interoperability between Ethereum and Bitcoin. So Zen chain unlocks the full potential of the Bitcoin economy. So is this more another Bitcoin DeFi coin? So Zen chain combines Bitcoin layer 1. They're just saying the same thing over and over. So they have a bridge, stake, earn, build. So a lot of times on these websites, they will just tell you the same paragraph like 16 different ways. And we're just not going to do that to you here. We're reading it over and over. Transactions processed, 19 million. Wallets and growing, 7 million plus. Okay, so they have some volume. We enable Bitcoin possibilities with EVM cross-chain solutions. Again, just saying the exact same thing. I get it. You got to fill a website and you don't have a lot of things to say. So trustless Taproot bridges. What is Taproot? That's maybe another day. We did go over Bitcoin DeFi one day and we talked about Taproot. So do they have something I can actually launch? So testnet is now live. So they have a testnet. They haven't launched, usually if you're in testnet, you're not launching the main net. And seeing that there's no market data and there's no token generation event tells me this is super new. It is one to keep an eye on. And now it is certainly time. Coop. Thank you very much, Bankroll. I appreciate that. So now is the time that we go start talking about SocialFi, right? What is the crypto attention economy? So the crypto attention economy, this whole attention economy, is the idea that attention is not just money, right? Is the most valuable resource online. And I believe that. So in Web 2, social media platforms like Twitter, YouTube, and TikTok profit from our attention by selling ads. So what I was really talking about earlier is that this is what they consider the ad revenue model, right? So you go to the App Store, you download, stupid little game, and you get served ads a lot of times in that game. But the game is free, right? But building that app wasn't free, and they didn't do it for charity. They did it because they wanted to make money. So where is the money coming from? It's coming from the ad revenue, right? Built in Web 3, that dynamic is changing. Yeah, that one guy says that to me. I definitely got that. You got the same name in the Discord as well. Hit that drink. As we're about to be raising that crypto IQ here, right? And I got to say a lot of words. And crypto's version of attention economy, your engagement, followers, and influence becomes on-chain assets that can be monetized directly. So that's another way to say it. We were talking about every post getting its own coin. but it's also saying that each post is an asset, an individual asset that can be monetized directly. That's where SocialFi comes in, the blend of social and finance. So SocialFi users actually own their audience and earn value while people engage with them. No middleman, no algorithm controlling your reach. I mean, this is a big deal right there. Even if you take everything else away, no algorithm controlling your reach, that is a big deal. Just peer-to-peer social value recorded on the blockchain. So kind of like when they first wanted just peer-to-peer money and Bitcoin was born, right? Well, in social media, this is like the emergence of peer-to-peer social value. Although it sounds silly, a lot of it I think is a little bit more profound and bigger than we're giving it credit for. And that's mostly just because I don't feel like any particular project has done it well yet. We have some new projects on the scene, but you know, think about when MySpace was around. Facebook came out, and I remember mostly everybody laughed at Facebook and was like, you know, Facebook has nothing on Twitter, right? And somehow, some way, Twitter is unheard of, or nothing on MySpace. And then all of a sudden you fast forwarded a couple years and MySpace was nothing, an empty shell of what it once was, and Facebook owned pretty much all of the market share. Could we see something like that in 5-6 years for SocialFi? All right. So what is SocialFi and how does it work? SocialFi platforms let users tokenize their social presence. Imagine turning your online clout into a tradable token. Your followers, your engagement, even your posts could carry economic value. Again, some SocialFi platforms do it for the profile, for the entire profile, and this Zora does it more for every individual post. I don't even know if they have a token for the actual profile. So on friend.tech, which I am less familiar with, for example, users can buy and sell keys that give access to private chats. So you're buying exclusivity. The more popular you are, the higher your price goes. That direct market value for attention. On Lens protocol, your entire social identity lives on chain. You own your profile, followers, and content as NFTs. And developers can build new apps that plug into the same data layer. Everybody getting this? These systems blur the line between influence and ownership, letting creators monetize without depending on centralized ad platforms, again referencing back to the old model of kind of making money. Now, will they turn around and try to combine those models together? I don't know. Because, I mean, there is still money in ads, so I don't know what's stopping them from doing that. Several projects are leading the charge in this new crypto native attention market. So you got friends.tech, Lens Protocol, Farcaster, Stars Arena, which Stars Arena, as far as I know, is pretty much dead. And I believe that friend.tech is as well. Then you have PostTech, another rising platform. And you don't even see Zara on here. That's interesting. I'm sure they might bring it up later. Each of these represent a different approach, but they all revolve around the same concept: attention equals currency. So why attention is becoming a tokenized asset. In traditional media, advertisers pay companies like Meta or Google for user attention. Exactly, right? In crypto, the same value is going directly to the creators and participants. So there's all this money flowing for attention. Mostly because people want to shill some kind of, product or service or something at you. So tokenized engagement gives users a reason to participate and stay active. The more attention you generate, the more rewards you can earn. This creates a self-reinforcing economy of participation where value flows between creators, communities, and investors, not through middlemen. Some call this next phase proof of humanity or proof of influence. So definitely, if you're taking notes, write down those terms, because I think that's something we have to remember as we begin to see those terms more often on different websites, right? Where your social presence, not just your capital, gives you weight in the economy. The future of SocialFi and the attention economy, the big picture here is that crypto is redefining what it means to have an influence online. Check the chat. Instead of social networks controlling your audience, you control your own value layer. As Web3 matures, we'll likely see more interoperable social media graphs where one profile works across different apps. That would be pretty cool. AI-powered curator paired with tokenized rewards for engagement, and possibly new metrics for influencers that blend social reach with on-chain reputation. The attention economy is just beginning, and understanding how it works could put you years ahead of the curve. And that's what we say and that's what we mean when we say every stream raises your crypto IQ. Wow, they branded it just for me. How nice. So one thing, I kind of got tied up because I was thinking of a bunch of thoughts here. So the attention economy is just beginning, right? So will attention economy be a big category, niche, in the next bull cycle? Or just, you could say as we continue, right? As we continue on, will it also be a big narrative? And don't worry, we got more. But we want to break it up, right? We want to break this up a little bit. So I hope now you have a little bit of a better idea of what SocialFi is and how it works, and some different projects that are considered SocialFi. Let's go look at our top gainers, top losers real quick. And really, we mostly look at the top gainer. Wow. The trending coins are both top losers. Interesting. River is actually up quite a bit this morning. Let's talk about River because, you know, it is still pretty new, even though it's getting a bunch of hype. Okay, gotta go to help support other streams. Great show. Don't forget to check out the post on your Discord. Okay, I definitely will. Thank you very much, Trade Intuition, for being here. 156.9 million in market cap. So $7.93 for River, up 283% for the max chart here, which is September 22nd, 2025. But what is it? It's got an Ethereum contract, base contract, BNB contract. It says chain abstraction. I do want to know how many followers they have. And what is abstraction? What is chain abstraction? What is wallet abstraction? Anybody remember that one? River is building a chain abstraction stablecoin system that connects assets, liquidity, and yield across multiple chains. They have 147.3 thousand followers. Their pin post is from October 17th with 329,000 impressions. So not that many days ago. It's a pin post. It does have a video in it, which increases its, traction. But they have, I don't know, very close to double, if not more than double. Yeah, more than double. Had to do math there of the followers. So that's what you want to see in a pinned post from a couple of days ago. So they have a lot of attention, right? I'm going to go ahead and follow them. You can follow me, Crypto Ron, with the blue check mark, face in the thumbnail, and that is at _ground crypto, because underground crypto was taken. And yeah, that's River. It is all about abstraction. We forgot to go to their website. Or I forgot. I don't know why I said we, as if you guys also forgot. Let's go to their website. Chain abstraction stablecoin system connects every asset to its opportunity. How River works. You earn, you swap, you stake, you mint. There you go. Very simple. Earn, you swap, you stake, then you mint. Everybody got that? Let's launch the app. They do have a Web3 app. I love that now pretty much every website I'm going to has a Web3 part of their website, even though technically it's a different website. But you get what I'm saying. River, a chain abstraction stablecoin system. So chain abstraction stablecoin system, to fulfill the rest of the sentence there, powered by Omni CDP protocol. So you can mint this SAT USD. And I guess by minting it, you are then able to interact with a lot of things. You earn points. So there's points here. You have this Enzo BTC. And then it says Hemi. It's very interesting because Enzo was a project already. And then Hemi is a Bitcoin DeFi project. And then there's this Enzo BTC. We could spend a lot of time on this, but we're not going to. So this is collaterals, and it says you earn points. That kind of hints at maybe an airdrop. So they have a smart vault. Smart vault gets you 40% APR. A lot of times these big APRs are unsustainable though. So that's what makes it difficult. I mean, if you're using a little bit of money, maybe it's not a big deal. But if I had, $100,000, it would sound amazing to get 40,000. But to go lock it up, that's sketchy. I wouldn't trust him to be around long enough for me to get my 40,000, right? They have a bridge, staking again, bridge, staking, vault, very common stuff. They even have, oh yeah, that's right. Can only see the for fun stuff if you have a Twitter connected. And that is River. I always want to say Moon River. It is not Moon River. It's just River. And then here's Ore. We talked about it the other day. I just want to look at a few things before we get clicking away here. Swarm network. Okay. It's very AI. Echelon Prime. That's funny. Nothing really jumping out at me except for Swarm network. Burnedfi. That's interesting. All right. We'll still run them in order, though. Let's talk about Ore. Wow, Ore is not done so well. Max chart says April 8th, 2024. Kind of topped up. Wow. It was up to $1,200 in July 29, 2024. That is wild. It's on, looks like Solana, right? Yep, Solana ecosystem. What is this? I'm not exactly sure what we're looking at here. Yeah, let's go to about. I feel like it should start at about, right? Or is a digital store of value on the Solana ecosystem. Blockchains enable the creator of trustless digital currencies which do not depend on any central bank or issuing authority. As one of the fastest and most widely used blockchains in the world, Solana has become the ideal home for a new generation of digital assets and financial applications. While many other digital stores of value exist and provide immense value to their users, none are native to Solana and thus rely on risky third-party intermediaries to use with protocols on Solana, or is designed from the ground up to serve as Solana's native store of value with maximal freedom and minimal trust assumptions. And next would be mining. So then there's even mining. This looks really interesting, actually. So how it works. Each round, miners have 1 minute to prospect the blockchain in 5x5 grid. At the end of the round, one winning blockchain is chosen by a secure random number generator. Okay, let me start over again. So each round, miners have 1 minute to prospect on blocks in a 5x5 grid. At the end of the round, one winning block is chosen by a random number generator on the Solana blockchain. All SOL deployed on losing blocks is split amongst miners in proportion to the size of their claim space on the winning block. In addition, one miner from the winning block is selected by weighted chance to receive additional 1+ ore. Alternatively, the protocol will split the ore reward amongst all winning miners 1 every 3 rounds on average. It's so interesting. So the mother load each round is a plus 0.2 ore is minted and added to the mother load pool. Okay, this is like the jackpot, right? And when the winning block is revealed, there is a 1 in 625 chance that those winning miners will also hit the mother load. If the mother load is hit, the pool is split by the miners in proportion to the size of their claim space on the winning block. Alternatively, if the mother load is not hit, the pool keeps accumulating, right? It's like a jackpot. And then you have a refining fee of 10% is applied to all ore mining rewards when claimed. The process from the fees are automatically redistributed to the other miners in proportion to their unclaimed ore mining rewards. Thus, the longer a miner holds onto their minted ore, the more ore they will receive. The net effect, this is really interesting. The net effect of this process is redistributed tokens to a long-term holder. Well, so if you hold ore, you're constantly getting like a feed of this 10% fee. Okay, now I can understand how this got to, I can see how this actually got to $1,200, right? It's like a gambling. This is like some gamble, right? So how much do you have to actually put in? I don't even know. What is 0.01 SOL? I don't know how this is considered mining necessarily, but this is how the ore protocol goes. I'm going to leave this one up. Ore is really interesting. Actually, I think I might want to do a video on this. What's like the least you can put in though, right? Is there like a certain amount that you have to put in? All right, moving on. So let's pull up the SocialFi category and see what all we get. So out of all of this, the trending ones are of course Pump.Fun, Zora, and Stim. I thought it said Steam. Like, doesn't that look like Steam Vapors coming up? No, it's Stim. Definitely want to check that out. And then your top gainers are Port3 Network, Script Network, and Stream SZN. So the number one is Pump.Fun by a lot, 1.2 billion in market cap. Zora already number 2 here in SocialFi at 413.3 million. We've talked about Zora a ton, so we're going to kind of look at some other things. You have Swoop. I want to say swap, but it's SWOP at 95.4 million. And let's check it out because I have absolutely never heard of it. Get paid to network. Monetize your connection with Swoop. Use your network to generate leads, and foster meaningful relationships with ease. Okay. It's very interesting. Bank yourself, encrypted message, generate leads. Maybe if you have like a business. Is it really big enough? I mean, some businesses would make sense, but if you had like a local business, I don't know if you'd really get enough leads off of something like this. Seems like it wouldn't provide enough. Turn your connection into earning Swoop. So manage the entire team. Design your page. Interact to earn. This is pretty interesting. It's interesting that this is like the third biggest and I've never heard of it. It says get demo with like a phone call thing. Like, that's weird. I don't want to have a phone call with nobody. Select a time and date. 30-minute web conferencing detail provided upon confirmation. What are we discussing though? Can't I just join and sign up? Or are they like keeping this like very exclusive or something? This is weird. Why would I need to do a Zoom meeting to join their like social media? It's got to be more to it. Maybe because they have like lead generation and selling products and stuff. But if you don't let people just freely get on here, who am I selling my products to? Business cards, hospitality, restaurants, wearables, devices for any interaction. Program our devices in the app. Our devices can be tapped on any phone. That's usually not a good thing, where they have Swoop app or not. Okay, so you can just tap two phones together. That's what they mean. Not tapped like they're wiretapping your phone. Team members. Okay, looks like a fully doxed team. But I don't really get why there's not like a place where I could just go download this. Maybe it'd be like on iOS or something. Yeah. All right, that is very interesting. It must work in some capacity. El Cheeto says, dang. I don't know if he, what are you talking about? Or? Speaking of Or, where is Orhan? He said any time works for him. This is technically any time. All right, well, putting this on your radar, I mean, how many people knew about Swoop? I definitely didn't. Then you have decentralized social, or DeSo. And it's been around for a while. Let's see. Yeah, 2021. I feel like I've heard of this. 74.7 million in its market cap still. So there are some people out there that have just not given up on it. It has SocialFi tag, of course. Coinbase Ventures. Says I've seen a Travis. Or yeah, exactly. Or is very interesting. I'm gonna have to revisit Or and make a video about it or something like that. It's very interesting. The social layer of crypto has arrived. I mean, it arrived apparently in 2021 when they came out. Talking about their backers. The first blockchain that can disrupt social media. Sounds great. Doesn't actually sound like they were capable of doing it. The only blockchain that can power storage heavy applications. DeSo unlocks the next frontier for blockchain infrastructure. 100% open source and 100% on-chain permissionless data. Go beyond DeFi with DeSo. DeSo is the one blockchain that can power storage heavy applications by combining financial primitives with cheap content storage. Build on DeSo. No, it's not lagging. I'm just scrolling really slow. DeFi blockchains are finite state, and DeSo blockchain is an infinite state. Compare the cost of storing 200 characters, less than a tweet. Much cheaper than any other blockchain. And I guess that's something that a lot of people don't think about, right? If you're running something like Zora, there's got to be some money to store all that information, and the more people put, the more you have to store. So do they delete it at some point? That wouldn't make a lot of sense at all. Content stored directly on the DeSo blockchain. Where are we going here? So they got their wallets. Let's see. Creators earning so far 30 million. Total TXN volume 2 billion, and transactions 85 plus million. The website's pretty cool though. Discover the next generation of social apps. This thing has been around since 2021 and I've never heard of it. So, well, actually I take that back. I have heard of it. I've never looked at it. So it does kind of make you wonder here. Wow, we are only halfway through this website. They spent some time on this website. This is for developers using Web 2 programming languages. So that was all about developers. Integrate the social layer with DeSo identity. This website's pretty cool. The easiest way to integrate crypto into your apps today. Provide self-custody and decentralization. Log in with DeSo. That should be a link, right? It's not a link. A Google login option integrated with MetaMask. Okay, so they do have both that combination between Web 2 and Web 3. View our roadmap to decentralizing social. See all of our exciting initiatives that are coming up, both in the intermediate. I kept scrolling, I didn't give it time. Revolution. So here is like their, can we check these other ones? No, so they're in phase 3, which is Revolution. Launched the redesign. So they had already planned to redesign. That's interesting. I doubt that. Cross-chain social, integrate wallets, BTC, ETH, Sol. Focus on creator coins, V2, and Revolution proof of stake. So what, they're proof of stake? That would make sense actually for a social media platform. Here's the team of AI generated pictures. Is it just me, or I feel like the team picture should be pictures of actual people? It's bad enough that they could just steal pictures of people and not actually have real people in the first place, yet alone giving us AI pictures of people. So where's it at? Yeah, let's explore. Like, okay, that just takes us here. Like, chapter. Where's the actual social media platform? Okay, is this a social media platform? I don't really want to make a social media with this right now because I don't know if this is a winner, right? Oh, look at that. HTX is on here. It's just somewhere that you can buy, right? Apparently, they're getting sued. That's very interesting. Yeah, DeSo. So it is a SocialFi. We just learned a lot about it, honestly. Did not know all of this stuff. I'm glad that we did this today. Because just like I am trying to help raise everybody's crypto IQ, I'm also raising mine every day too. So I hope nobody really loses sight of that. Doing this stream every day really helps me keep focused and make sure that I do a couple hours of research in crypto every day. That is going to compound. It's not just going to add up. People say, oh, that adds up. No, it doesn't add up. It compounds. So Gal, it says it migrated to gravity. Do they mean zero gravity? Oh, okay. So they've rebranded the whole thing to gravity. Okay, well, where's gravity? So we won't even get into that. They've already moved to a different token and stuff. Hive. Hive sounds like a good name for a social media platform, doesn't it? And that's ticker HIVE. It is at 66.1 million in market cap. The max chart says it's been around since March 22nd, 2020. Let's go check out their website. See what tags we get. Smart contracts, SocialFi, and Layer 1. Also a gaming blockchain. So I've heard of Hive Mapper. I've never heard of Hive. Fast, scalable, and powerful, the blockchain for Web3. A thriving, mature ecosystem. So Hive is not a shiny new toy. We've been waiting around for a while and have grown a thriving ecosystem of hundreds of dApps, communities, and projects. We are home to some of the most used Web3 dApps in the world, such as Splinterlands. Okay, I know that one. Peak D and Essency. I don't know what that's supposed to say. Fast with no fees. Decentralized. Readable wallet addresses. That's always helpful. Decentralized Hive Fund. The development of Hive and its ecosystem is made possible by the community. To incentivize crucial work, the same community can engage in stake-weighted voting to fund proposals via the decentralized Hive Fund. Hive-backed dollar. So they have their own stablecoin, right? HBD, algorithmic stablecoin. And it says they have an ecosystem, right? Splinterlands, Peaked, Hive Blog, NFT Showroom, Wrestle Organization Online, and that apparently is a game. So there's 16 games on here, huh? I know what Splinterlands is, right? Let's pick a random one. Decrop, right? Let's go look at their website. I'm always a sucker for a good DeFi game. Decrop. Looks like some kind of farming thing. Wonder how long this has been around. I wonder how this is done over time, right? Decrops. Can we pull that up? Never know what we're going to find, right? No, you're not getting anything for decrops. Okay, moving on. I'd love to check that out, but we don't have time for that right now. That'll really take us off track from what we were doing, which I'm good at getting off track. So this is Hive. How is it SocialFi though, right? Let's go back to the ecosystems for a second. Okay, here's the social. Okay, so they have, these are all the social type things, right? SocialFi can mean a lot of things, right? It can mean social media, or it could just mean a place where people are social, right? It says travel feed. Like, what is travel feed? We'll just pick a random thing. So travel blog, earn, repeat. Looks very Web 2. It doesn't look very Web 3 to me. So when I go to log in, okay, so are these the Web3 options? Log in with Hive Authenticator, Hive Signer. I think Hive Signer might be the Web3 version there. It does look like there's a lot of things going on here, but how used they are and how much attention is here, I have absolutely no idea. Let's go look at their social media. Let's go to their Twitter. Hive is interesting. Yeah, El Cheeto. I think that Hive is pretty interesting. But are they actually getting traction? They've been around since 2020, so 5 years now, about to be 6. And they only have 41.5 thousand followers. I mean, that doesn't seem that much. But at the same time, it takes a lot to build this kind of stuff into like the Facebooks and stuff, Twitters that you know today. Can't decide if it's embarrassing or not that no one using Hive Infra even realized there was an outage today. Sounds more like a flex. Says, you guys were using AWS? That's actually pretty funny, right? That's a good one. If you know, you know. Anybody who saw that notification. Only few people would get it. Why won't it go back no matter how many times I hit the back button? How's everybody feeling? I see I've heard everybody's minds with this crypto IQ raising stuff because viewership has dropped off. We lost like 8 people. Where did these 8 people go? Sorry, it's literally impossible not to see the number every time I go to check the chat. It just is. But like I always say, I'd be here doing this all by myself either way. Now let's get back to the topic at hand so we can get to the real sauce while they tuned out. They won't even know what they're missing. So some of this could be repetitive. I kind of brought this up in a different light, and I wanted to see if it would give me better information or different information, right? Maybe not better. So SocialFi is short for social finance, the fusion of social media decentralized finance applied to crypto Web3 social platforms. The idea, instead of social platforms where companies own your data, monetize your attention, and sell ads, right? SocialFi attempts to let users, creators control their data, monetize their activities, and get value for engagement. And this is about the same thing that we just talked about, right? But having it presented in a different light might give us maybe an eureka moment. I don't know. Or we'll just remember it better. So key building blocks. Tokenization of social activity is creator coins, social tokens, decentralized governance, DAOs, and data controls, avoiding a single company owning the platform. So decentralization, right? Ownership of identity, content, NFT, wallets, and decentralized identity. As one article puts it, SocialFi is crypto's last attempt to monetize social media and social interactions online. Okay. Is it its last attempt? Seeing that crypto is probably the future, I don't know why that would be the last attempt. I think there will be many more attempts. So why it's emerging now? Web3 momentum, dissatisfaction with Web2 social platforms, and improved blockchain infrastructure. What SocialFi is really trying to solve and what it does well, right? So creator monetization. Content creators often struggle in Web2 to monetize fairly. SocialFi offers direct monetization of post engagements and social tokens. I feel that when I'm on Twitter, definitely doesn't seem fair to me. Users ownership of data identity. Instead of being purely the product, users could own their data, move it and control how it's used. Governance and value sharing. Rather than the platform capturing all of the value, SocialFi aims to share those rewards between users, creators, and communities. I mean, that's a good argument for sure. You have the argument that whoever created the platform, they do own the platform, right? They went out of their time to make it, like Twitter or Facebook. But it's really the people who interact and who are on there every day that give them somewhere to shill their ads, right? Because that's really what they're doing, is selling a bunch of ads. And so if we don't show up, there's nothing. If they don't make anything, there's nothing to show up to. So it kind of goes both ways. Alternative to ad-driven model, we've gone over that. Decentralization and censorship resistance. By building on blockchain, SocialFi hopes to reduce central gatekeeping, deciding content or access. I mean, I guess that would have been pretty useful during the whole, global event that happened. Criticism and risk, though, right? Sustainability of the economic model. Many SocialFi projects may offer large rewards early, but the model may not be able to sustain once hype fades. Kind of sounds like a pyramid scheme type of thing, right? Need more people to be constantly coming in. Speculation and pump risk. Because social tokens and shares of profiles get traded, there's risk it becomes a speculative game rather than a genuine social utility. That's what we were literally just talking about earlier, right? Scalability and infrastructure. So social media platforms deal with massive volumes, posts like comments, etc. Blockchain often struggles with such throughput or cost. So we talked about when we were on, what was that, Swoop or something like that? I think it was Swoop. We talked about how much it costs to actually store information on blockchain. And then, of course, you have the problem of throughput, which is finality, which is things actually getting put through the system and actually being updated on the ledger. What's up, that one guy? I appreciate you dropping that comment. Just letting us know that you are here. Matter of fact, if everybody could go ahead and drop a comment like that one guy, just a emoji or something, let me know you're still here so I can see who's still here, because I see about 8 people dropped off. Not trying to call anybody out, but I can obviously see regulation and legal risk. I can't call people out because I don't know who dropped off, right? Monetizing social tokens, creator tokens, trading of profile keys could run into securities or regulation issues. I didn't think of that. That's a good point. So trading of profile keys could run into security issues. Spam low quality content, gaming the system. I mean, that's what Zora feels like to me. A spamming of low quality content. If you reward every like comment, there's a risk of the system being gamed. Low quality engagement. Some models address it, but it's a challenge. I mean, you got bots. El Cheeto dropped a comment. Oh, Crypto Sparky, what's up? I don't remember ever seeing that before. Welcome in, welcome in. So ownership illusion, platform risk. Even though users own tokens, if the platform shuts down or governance fails, value may vanish. Ownership of wallets versus functional ecosystem. And we're talking about SocialFi for anybody who just hopped in. Users experience mainstream adoption. Wallets, tokens, chains still intimidate many users. Getting non-crypto natives users on board is very hard. We all know that kind of firsthand. If you've ever talked to anybody, loved one, or anything about anything crypto that actually had a wallet or something like that, it was basically impossible. Token values versus social value mismatch. The value of tokens may detach from the actual social creator value. Could become more about trading than community, which is kind of what they had already highlighted, right? And then, of course, notable projects. I think it's really interesting they don't have Zora on there. They have like these older projects that honestly I'd never really heard of. I mean, some of them, of course, friend.tech, Lens Protocol, but CyberConnect, hadn't heard of that. DeSo, we just went over, and Hive, but I guess I'm just not deep into the decentralized social media, right? Key themes and talking points for your live stream. I don't need that. I can come up with my own talking points. AI is always trying to like add extra stuff than what you asked it. So one thing we were in the middle of looking at was SocialFi projects. And I'm going to transition this to the sit down mode of the stream as we roll into the second hour. Don't worry, I will change the camera angle. Give me 1 second. Oh man, having this option is kind of amazing. This is a game changer when you're rolling into the second hour of being live. Just sit down. Appreciate everybody who holds with me while I transition there. So yeah, what else are we going to find? We had DeSo, Hive. I really wanted to look at Stem because it said Stem was trading. We'll come back to Cyber. I couldn't wait. So 47.9 million in its market cap. The max chart says it's been around since April 17th, 2016. Is anybody feeling like this is information overload? I hope not. Got SocialFi category, nothing else really. Pull up their Twitter and see how much engagement they have. We'll pull up the website, take a look at that. You can drop off some of these things that we don't need. Okay, yeah, that's where I want to be. So powering communities and opportunities. This is STEM. STEM is a social blockchain that grows communities and makes immediate revenue streams possible for users by rewarding them for sharing content. It's currently the only blockchain that can power real applications via social app like Stemit. So Stemit is the actual, so this is the blockchain that everything I guess is built upon. A new social media model where contributors get big perks. So what do we, what's the play here if you're a social media creator or something, right? And you want to use this to your advantage, right? How quick do you actually get anything? And if I just take the same content I already have, can I just post it everywhere? Right? So this is Stemit. I don't want to spend a crazy amount of time on it. Yeah, I mean, they're just regurgitating the same narrative about, attention economy, and they pay their creators, based off of what they create. I don't feel like we need to say that over and over and over again. They do have 14.9 thousand followers, and they've been around since when? 2016. I mean, in my opinion, they're either super early and they're not caught on yet, or they're cooked, right? Do see this little symbol here that should insinuate that they're connected with Barachain, right? That is the Barachain symbol. If you know, you know. But I don't feel like that's what they meant, right? Posts look okay. Dude. Yeah, this posts are like from 2020. I think this thing is probably cooked, guys. And that's how it goes. Yeah, this project's cooked. Never mind that project. And then you just get really small from there, right? You got LimeWire. Which I could see how LimeWire could be considered, social. And then you just, Hana Network actually falls into that. I mean, I guess Hana makes sense. We've been following that one since it kind of launched. I don't know that they really built anything, right? I think some people were kind of, when I was in their Discord, there was a lot of very upset people with Hana that basically were accusing them of doing absolutely nothing as far as a real product or anything like that. Thing is burnt. Yep, exactly, El Cheeto. And that's going to happen. We're deep diving, we're researching. We're going to come across projects that are just absolute junk sometimes, and sometimes maybe absolute gold. You never know. So one thing I do want to make sure that I don't forget about is kind of looking at those top gainers, top losers. Make sure I really hit that all the way. I mean, we covered a lot of SocialFi. We covered what SocialFi is. Talked a little bit about maybe it being, having sustainability to move forward there. We talked about different projects that are SocialFi. We covered quite a bit of stuff there. So we're at the top gainers of the day. You have this ACET or ACT. I don't know what that is. The ticker screams like not the most exciting thing to retail. Been around since 2021 and it's getting a pump today. What's that about? It's dot finance. We'll check it out for like a half a second. I don't know why this thing would be relevant all of a sudden. BNB ecosystem, maybe that's a good thing. No thank you. Trying to connect to my MetaMask wallet. So loyalty swap to ACET with USD rewards. Basically giving you like $7 for every $100 that you have. I don't know what the point of that is. The ideology coin, where initial amounts of supply should start at 0. That's an interesting take, that a supply of a coin should start at 0, but isn't that basically what an infinite supply would be? Yeah, that's why they have an infinite supply. I don't know if that's really a good thing or new thing. They've been around a long time. So maybe it was new when they did it in 2021. But it doesn't seem like it's new now. Customer support wants to talk to me. They made it look like a game, which is kind of interesting. ACT is the people. Age of ACT. 4 years, 1 month, 23 days. I don't know. I don't ever hear anybody talk about this, that's for sure. Is it still relevant? I have no idea. An airdrop. Wow. Think there's still airdrops going on? I doubt it. Back on October 16th, 2025, ACT airdrop is paused for system upgrades. Okay, well, I mean, they have some relevancy. It sounds like they've updated something in that time period. Nigeria is apparently getting all of the airdrops. Bangladesh, Thailand, Indonesia. All right, moving on. That is interesting, but it doesn't seem like it's super relevant right now. And I mean, look at the chart. The chart kind of tells you everything you need to know. But there is $43 million still hanging out in it. It's a lot of money for a project. Doesn't look like it's done much. And then it pumps 52% today, right? Is that a pump and dump group? What is the reason for that? Meet 48. Ticker is idle. Max chart says June 10th, 2025, $34.1 million. Chart looks decently healthy, right? It sideways pump, held most of it, a little bit of pullback, pump right back up to that spot. It's up 140%. It's got a BNB contract address. It is entertainment. It is AI application and governance. Let's go check out the website, meet48.com. Democratization of entertainment and mass adoption. The webpage literally has to load, which is weird. Phishing, sheesh. Not sure what he's referring to, but this is taking forever to load. Maybe I'm getting phished right now. Yeah, I'm good on that. Whatever it is, taking too long. Sorry, I don't have the patience for that. So Meet 48's bold vision, shaping the future of fun engagement. It is relatively new. It's got AI narrative. It's got IP tokenized, right? Game launch Q1 2026. Defishing. It's like, did El Cheeto know what we were going to? Very weird that he called that. Defishing is not a game. This is GameFi, where gaming is mining and fun meets finance. I can't wait for somebody to get this stuff right and figure it out. When they figure it out, it's going to be a new world, right? For gaming anyway. This looks like it's really based in another country, doesn't it? Is this going to be like their metaverse or something like that? It'd be pretty lit. This doesn't look like it's built for Americans. Virtual identity, intelligent social community. Yeah, this looks like some virtual reality social media. But then it says a game is going to be launched 2026. All right, well, this is one to keep an eye on, right? He says I'm psychic. Yeah, got my attention when said IP. Yeah, that one guy. See, everybody ties into a different narrative. I mean, maybe that one guy is really going to help us heavy deep dive IP type tokens. And I wrote it down. We may do something about it. Who knows? It could even be tomorrow that we do something about it. I don't know. It's very possible. And we just rolled into our second hour. And Pirate Chain R, right? 14.9% up on the daily. So that privacy coin. Swarm Network, ticker Truth, is something I really wanted to look at. 35.4 million. It's on SWI. I love that. So agent clusters, I knew it had to be AI, right? AI or agent clusters and swarms on top of verified on-chain data. It says about swarm, but like, can anybody even read that? So plus no code tools for full cycle swarm deployment with real utility driving a unique economy and assets for each swarm. So Truth Protocol is the future of owner-owned autonomous digital economy. Truth Protocol, a decentralized trust layer for boundless human AI collaboration. In an era where the sheer volume of information overwhelms the traditional traditional verification methods, amplifying misinformation and collective that's a weird word to put there. Hallucinations, Swarm Network introduces the Truth Protocol. By combining decentralized AI agent swarms, cryptographic techniques, and zero-knowledge proofs, the Truth Protocol delivers real-time verification and arbitrary data to power a robust new layer of dApps. I'm really actually feeling quite how empty I am right this second. I need to drink some more of this tea. It's a good thing I made 2 batches of tea, right? Give me a half a second here. I have to text my wife that my child is being way too loud. I don't know if you can hear him. All right, and back to the scheduled programming. Oh, that tea is good. I forgot I put a little bit of lemon in that tea. That is perfect. All right, so, I mean, Swarm is one of the big things that AI actually needs, right? It's one of the core pillars of the infrastructure of AI. One AI agent, not so useful. Swarms of AI agents, very useful. And of course, one AI agent could be useful, but swarms are even more useful. That's my point. And so, as we always do, we hit the 2-hour mark. And like I said, feeling a little empty. Fart Knocker, my son is 7 years old. They grow up so fast. Isn't that the cliche thing to say? But man, is it true. So fasting pains for the gains. Exactly, El Cheeto. You know how much money I've saved to invest in crypto by not eating? I mean, it's probably like $20-something a day. Maybe I'm just bougie and everybody else is eating rice and nothing but rice, and they don't spend that much on a daily basis. But I probably spend at least $20 a day to eat, and I don't even be eating out every day. I do probably eat out way too much. And so, yes, this is Darkstar. I hopped on it for a minute. I got to give my brain a little bit of rest there. How's the community doing? How's the community feeling? Drop some comments if you're still here. And let me know if there's anything you want me to talk about. You know, it's taken me a while to kind of find the flow. So we've done 4-hour streams, 3-hour streams, and I'm sure there will be days for that. But I got to find kind of a sustainable flow, right? So I kind of know how to structure the streams. Remember, guys, this is still a new channel and a new stream. The channel a little bit older, but if you look at it, I look at it more like my channel started when I started doing live streams, right? Yes, I did a lot of pre-recorded videos, but it really was the live streams that got us really moving here. And so I look at it more like that's the starting point, right? That's the genesis. Fartknocker says, did you go to the gym today? I actually didn't go to the gym today. Instead, I went to a trail and walked, you know, like an hour or something like that. Because yesterday I hit the gym really hard in a fasted state. And so I am crazy sore today. And I just didn't want to keep pushing that heavy capacity. In the past, I've always done all the gyms and everything. A big part of fasting too is about regeneration and rest for your body so that it can use the extra energy to do stuff with. So I definitely wanted to get a good workout in yesterday to get all of those, you know, your growth hormones and stuff go way through the roof when you're fasted. So I want to take advantage of that. But when you overwork it in a state like this, you can actually have a negative impact where you actually lose muscle or don't gain as much as you could. So I chilled out today and just went for the cardio. Must be harder to work out the further you get into a fast. I mean, no, I mean, like, for example, when I did the 11-day fast, I was still doing Chinese Kung Fu almost every day. And I did all of my classes, and we're talking, you know, we're talking like hour and a half. Sunday classes were like 3.5 hours. And if you've ever stood in horse stance for, I don't know, 30 seconds, you would know how incredibly difficult that is. And so I did all of my classes and stuff. I'm used to going hard even while I'm fasted. Trying to work a little bit smarter, right? It used to be about working super hard. I got that down. Now I need to work a little bit smarter, right? That one guy said, I took a gym rest day today myself as well. And I'm glad to hear all of you guys go to the gym. You know, it's easy to sometimes beat yourself up for taking a rest when maybe you could have gone. But think about how many people are not even going. And you could apply that to crypto. How many people, or how easy is it to beat yourself up to the fact that you know, only made so much money in crypto, but you could have made more, stuff like that, and realize that a lot of people are not making any money in crypto. They're not doing anything. So he says that it must be hard to work out. Yeah, the further you get in. It just, if you're in a fasted state, it can be good to give a day in between hitting the gym. I'm sure I'll probably hit the gym tomorrow. Blues Guy just said, popping in between breaks. Much love, guys. Miss you all. Hey, we definitely miss you, Blues Guy. Hope you're all having a great IQ moment. I felt like it was today. I don't know. Viewership dropped off, so maybe it wasn't for everybody. But I see the core people are here. Is Lindsay Lynn still in the house? I don't know. I haven't heard from her in a while. So I'm trying to gain a bunch of weight. Some days, rest days, I gain the most. Okay. I assume you mean muscle weight. So, okay, he's talking to Blues Guy. I find I lose weight on rest days. Yeah, because sometimes when you're working out every day, like, you just stress the body out, right? I took my son skating today. He was 4. Was a good cardio workout. That's awesome, man. I love to hear people being, you know, good parents and doing stuff with their children. Too many kids sit in front of screens and don't get any interaction. And sometimes it's just because we have to work, you know? I've been there myself. It's so cool how into the gym and healthy crypto people are. Exactly. I do notice a lot of people in crypto are freed up maybe a little bit more from a regular conventional thinking. Sorry, every time I get close to the microphone, my mustache rubs against it and it tickles. So has anybody else been enjoying Darkstar? I swear the more I play it, the more I enjoy this game. Not to shift the subject, I'd actually rather talk about what we were talking about. It's driving me nuts. Can't decide if I like this new webcam either, but when I look at it on my phone and stuff, it looks really crisp. But when I look at it in, say, OBS, which is my streaming platform, it doesn't look as crisp. Fartknocker says, time for me, boys and gals. Have a good night. Oh, bedtime for me. Okay, that makes a lot more sense. All right, Fartknocker, thanks for being here. Looks like probably just going to run a little bit longer and just see what everybody's talking about. Who knows? We might get into something else. Everyone trying to get that edge by any means possible. Yeah, exactly. And, you know, what's the point of doing all of this and actually striking it, you know, rich potentially or something like that, and then the whole time you neglected your body and, like, you can't even enjoy it. And, you know, it takes a while to make things in crypto. A lot of times it's a much longer timeline than most people realize. And with that being said, by the time you get to some of these gains and stuff, you know, you might be 5, 6, 7, 10 years older. And if that's the case, well, then you're definitely going to want to make sure your body is still with you by the time you get there. So a lot of people always feel like, oh, you know, later on when it all works out, then I'll go there and then I'll, you know, take care of my health and stuff. I just need to grind right now. But one, you make a ton of extra work, right? You make it a lot harder for yourself. And sometimes you make it so hard that it's so overwhelming that you might never actually do it. At least I think it's good to take small steps on a daily basis to make it not so hard when you're finally ready to commit to the big picture kind of thing. Can I beat the final boss here? I don't know. It is nice to play one of these games at the end of the stream after I've, you know, talked for like 2 hours. It's pretty exhausting. Not that I'm complaining. I enjoy deep diving crypto. Like I said, doing this channel really keeps me, what's the word? Keeps me consistent. That wasn't the word I was looking for, but it definitely does keep me more consistent. Making sure that I at least do the work that I originally wanted to make sure I was doing. You got to make what you love somehow what you do, and abundance will definitely flow to you more consistently. Also helps if you believe in an abundance mind state and you don't believe that everything is scarce. But I do really believe that most crypto people believe in abundance, or they wouldn't be here, right? If they didn't believe that crypto was abundant, that there was money to be made, then you wouldn't be here. And if you weren't into crypto, I doubt you would be on a stream like this one or Lifer's stream. So I like to believe that most crypto people are definitely abundance people. Sometimes people want to believe in abundance and stuff, but they don't really have the true abundance mind state because they're still believing old scarcity lies. And as much as this channel is about crypto, it's also very much about personal development, bettering oneself. I think everybody at least wants to want. You know, they want to be into that stuff, even if they're not. Maybe they don't know where to start. Maybe it's hard for them to lock in and believe. There's all kinds of different things there, right? So that one guy says, can we look at Root Network? Yeah, we absolutely can. For sure, it takes time. This game is crazy addicting. It is. I had started it earlier, so I'd hit these boxes. After I open these boxes, I'll go look at Root for that one guy, who, once again, I really appreciate you being here, as I am very appreciative of everybody who's here. I just want to take a minute to say that I don't take anybody's viewership for granted, right? Nobody's making you guys be here. You're sharing your best commodity with me, which is your time, your biggest asset, as Lifer always says. And I really appreciate you guys, like a lot, because there's no channel without somebody to come hang out with and talk to. So there are two different routes, that one guy. We have the Root Network, which I'm pretty sure is what you're talking about, but there's also Tree Root. Oh, he did say Root Network. All right, we're locked in then. So what do we think? What do we feel about the Root Network? So $3.2 million in market cap. Max chart says November 22nd, 2023. So this thing has been around for a minute. Ethereum blockchain. So look at their Twitter first. Let's just see how much engagement they're getting. They are very small. Although I feel like I've heard of this, the Root Network. 112.7 thousand followers, also followed by XRP Turbo. If you know, you know. The Root Network will remain independent of the Futureverse receivership process. The software and protocol, including the NFI, Palette, and SYLO, Silo, are open source and will add further code to the open source repos in the coming days for developers who wish to continue using these. Okay, so what are they doing? Like some kind of shutdown or something like that? Pin post from September 29th got 30,000 impressions. Closed beta live. Oh, this is a repost. All right, let's go look at the website. So 112,000. Rooted in open gaming. The Root Network is a powerful foundation for seamless connected games, content, and enterprise. Okay, I don't want to start building. I was looking for something I could open and look at, maybe some games, but maybe not. Unlock the magic of open metaverse. And what do you guys think of metaverse, right? Didn't we all, I felt like everybody, I said this the other day, but maybe you were here, maybe you weren't. I feel like everybody, we all subconsciously like agreed that metaverse was going to be virtual reality, VR. Or maybe even AR. Do you know the difference between VR and AR? Augmented reality and virtual reality. That would be definitely something worth knowing. Is a metaverse where they just run around in a screen just like Web 2, maybe a game you played when you were a kid in school or something? Is that still a metaverse? I don't know. I very much feel like it's got to be like at least augmented reality, if not VR. Purpose built to bring content to life, the Root Network connects seamless player experience with the powerful Web3 technology. Join the game changer. So Revac Impact, the Third Kingdom. Let's try that. What is this? Can I actually play it, or do I have to download something and jump through like 17 hoops and all of that stuff? Oh, you do have to download it. Unlock up to a bunch of root. 312.5 million root. Build a production empire. I mean, this feels like, just from the look of that picture, it feels like a lot of like mobile games and stuff like that. Play for free. So you got to download it. Not that I'm against that, because a really good game is probably going to need to be downloaded. But I don't know. I don't know what it is. I need to go look at it like on YouTube or something like that. It looks pretty cool. I like that they have actual games, right? AI experience. Where are the actual games though? You got like Racers, Next Legends, looks like some kind of boxing, Grumble. Is this built for AI or for virtual reality, or is this just, you know, regular reality? I'm going to coin that term. Zappermon, right? Is this like Pokemon? And then these all feel like independent games. Shouldn't these be all wrapped up in like a launcher, you know? So I think it's one of your types. That chart looks very bad, but project seems hype. Hey, that's a ton of stuff in crypto, man, where the project looks great. I think a lot of things just wind up being, sometimes a rug pulls, sometimes they're just really ahead of their time and people just don't get it yet, right? I think Meta is put on hold, maybe. It definitely feels like everything's put on hold right now, right? Can I play this without downloading something? Visit the store. Zeppermon Mint. What I dislike about a lot of this type of stuff is I get into it and I get a bunch of stuff, and then like the game folds, and the next thing you know, the website won't load and they're not paying for their service for their website anymore, and you just get cooked, man. I've had that happen to me several times in projects. It comes with it. It does say XRPL, so is this built on XRP? Is that, did I kind of miss that? The root network does sound like it would be an XRP kind of thing. Ecosystem, maybe we could get answers from the ecosystem. Explore games, experience, and dApps built on and integrated with the root network. See if any of these other look like. Is it built on XRPL? No, Etherscan. It's on Ethereum. Smart contracts, gaming layer 1, gaming blockchain. So GameFi and gaming blockchain are two separate categories. All right, guys. Anybody have anything they want to talk about? It's been a minute since I pulled this up. Kind of want to look at this. And if you can't tell, we're winding down a little bit. I like to give a little bit of space at the end of the stream for like us to, you know, chat about anything that's on anybody's mind. Of course, that's what the Discord is for. And I see the Discord has been super active. I love how much activity is going on in there. When I first made the Discord, I didn't know if we were ever going to get any conversations, you know, genuinely going in the Discord. But now I see that there is plenty of combo going, and it makes me really happy for sure at how well things are going. Anybody use Huobi, or what used to be Huobi, that HTX? I mean, them having a lawsuit looked like it looked like a nothing burger. It is news, right? And it could be, you know, them revamping. Also, it was going on in Europe. So for me as an American, I don't think it affects me much. It might be why I don't use HTX, because it might be more of a European exchange. This looks cool AF. Some goodies, some flops tonight. Definitely raised my crypto IQ. Hey, I'm really glad to hear that, El Cheeto. El Cheeto keeps coming back. It must be delivering some kind of value here. It definitely says lit. Definitely, again, makes me glad to see that when people come back, there must be something that they're coming back for. Is it the community? Is it the IQ raising? Is it a little bit of everything? To be a part of something? I mean, there's so many cool aspects with a community, right? And this is, of course, Towns. What is it? Town something? I don't know. I was going to say Townsville, but it's not Townsville, I don't think. Townstar, that's what it is. It's just like an idle game. It's kind of fun. You don't really do much. You just hop on and sell everything and collect your money and then slowly build up a farm. Now, they do have tournaments and stuff where you can win gala and stuff like that. Join the Discord. I wish I knew how long this thing had been around, right? Let's see, can I get a contract address here? Backed by Ripple. Okay. So this game is backed by Ripple. 5,843 followers, but when this pin post from 2004, yeah, it's no good. They need to be constantly posting all the time if you want to be a relevant project. I mean, that just pretty much says, hey, this thing is dead. Which is not good to be kind of put at the forefront of a platform like Root Network, and then the thing literally not even be relevant anymore. Says, it's you, Underground. Great information and great stream. Hey, man, I appreciate that so much. I really do. Because it takes a lot to do this channel, you know. Everybody acts like they want to be a YouTuber. It's like I had to explain to my son the other day, he watches some Minecraft YouTube and stuff like that, and he says he wants to be a YouTuber. So I like try to explain stuff to him, like, hey, it's not what you think it is. Like, you have to actually make videos every day, and you have to actually have something to say of some value, or nobody's gonna watch. And then he made his little pre-recorded video because he was begging to make a video for his channel. He has a little channel, not a whole lot of followers, but obviously he's barely posted anything, right? He's 7. He doesn't really understand how to make a video or use a computer for that method. So then, like, trying to explain to him like a thumbnail really helps people click on your video. And a great community too. Nice bonus. Yeah, El Cheeto, I see you in the Discord all the time. And I see that you've been, Orhan, Fart Knocker, Crypto Key, Blues Guy. Like, there's just so many names now in that Discord that it's crazy. I really wish, guys, that I could hang out in there a little bit more and just hang out and chat. But I wouldn't get anything done, especially for the channel or everything else that allows me to do the channel, right? I do have another business. Stuff has to get done there. My wife is great that she is running a lot of that business to allow me to be here. So that's why I got to hustle twice as hard to get this thing monetized, so I can at least bring home what I'm used to, right? Because I'm taking a gamble. I'm taking a risk here. So you guys, like I said, you guys don't know how much it means. You guys show up consistently and hang out and be a part of stuff. I'll drop a reel or something in the Discord and everybody goes and likes and comments. Like, it means a lot to me getting monetized. We're very close, I feel like. We're very close to being monetized. We're also very far away from being monetized. You need 4,000 watch hours. And then, of course, like, don't get me wrong, once I get monetized, it's not going to be like thousands of dollars rolling in all of a sudden. I mean, I'd be real lucky if it was $1,000, and I'm talking about like a month. You got to build that thing up, right? It takes time, and I'm not going anywhere. I'm committed. I've built several businesses before. Problem is, they were local, right? They weren't built into the larger digital economy of the world. That's what makes YouTube and those type of things so special, is because you can really reach a large audience. I mean, we were on a chat and there was somebody from Hong Kong, there was somebody from Thailand, you all know who you are, somebody from Canada, somebody from California. Places are all very far away from me. So it's just been an awesome journey. Just want to take a minute to just tell everybody how much I appreciate them. And who knows, maybe one day we will get an actual sponsor for the channel. It'll come for sure. Who knows? They could be in my email right now, as I need to be a little bit better about checking my email that is, specifically for the channel. Do I have enough? I forget even what I was trying to save up all this money to buy on here. I think it was like I needed like an energy factory or something, right? What tab is that under? Water facilities, refineries. Is it a power plant? No, it's not a power plant. I need a logging thing where we can turn logs into, I don't know, planks, I guess. Okay, so this produces lumber. So I guess we have to start with that. Just to buy one lot, though, and I'm just rambling here. Buy one lot's like 2.5 mil. Costs way too much money, right? So I got to build up my dough. That one guy says, good night. Oh, I'm over here falling asleep. You're good, man. I'm actually probably about to hop off in a second myself. Appreciate everybody who has been here, who stayed here through the whole thing. And hopefully you learned a little bit about SocialFi. So shout out to that one guy. I'll be looking for you in the Discord when I'm scanning through there. And we'll just jump back to crypto bubbles as we run it out, right? Is there still music playing? All right, there is still music playing. I love when that happens all the way through the stream. For a while there, I'd keep like getting to the end of the stream and like it would be ended. No music. Just not the same without the music, right? So in the last hour, a lot of things turning green. Look at this BDX, Belladex. That is, I'm pretty sure, a trading platform, right? When you click on it, does it give you a link? Oh, I like that. Automatically can link you. I don't know why I didn't think to do that. Automatically link you to CoinGecko or CoinMarketCap or whatever. Pretty sure this is trading. I don't even need to go to the website. It says AI, smart contract, master nodes, VPN, naming service. Okay, so no, this was different. We definitely looked at Belladex before. All right, guys. I am going to hop out. Was a great stream. We'll be back tomorrow, 8 p.m. New York time. I think everybody's figured out what time that is for you. Definitely, I don't know, share the stream with somebody who you know loves crypto, right? And stay underground, stay crypto. And, of course, to do anything in life, you got to push hard and get started. Have a good night, everybody. Crypto Ron out.